Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today is a wild one, and we just need to dive straight into the absolute madness that went down on our screens because my jaw is still on the floor. Grab a huge cup of coffee and settle in because we have a massive amount of chaos to unpack right now. So, I don't even know where to start honestly. I am just sitting here staring at my notes and I am completely in shock. We all knew Sheila Carter was going to pull something. We knew it. The spoilers have been telling us for days that she was going to ambush John Finnegan at the hospital. But guys, nobody, and I mean absolutely nobody, could have predicted the absolute bloodbath that just happened. And I do mean bloodbath, literally. I am still shaking a little bit from watching it because it was so visceral and so completely out of left field for a daytime soap. But here we are. The writers actually went there, and they went hard. Let's back up a second and set the scene. Because the show really built this up to be a pressure cooker. Finn had just finished a highly stressful, exhausting surgery. You could see the sheer fatigue on Tanner Novlan's face. He played it so well, looking like a guy who has just been holding someone's life in his hands for hours. He's back in his office. He's tired. He's still in his scrubs and his pristine white doctor's coat. And for whatever reason, he is holding a freshly sterilized scalpel in his hand. Why is he holding a surgical scalpel in his office right after a surgery? Honestly, I don't know. Maybe I missed a line of dialogue about him examining a surgical tray or checking the equipment, but it's a soap, so we just go with the dramatic props. But the point is, he has a deadly, razor-sharp blade in his hand. And he is completely drained, vulnerable, running on fumes. And then the door opens, and it's her, Sheila. The woman who just will not go away. A few episodes ago, we saw her officially sign those divorce papers, completely freeing Deacon Sharp from their legal nightmare, and she's been using that. Oh, she has been parading those signed papers around like they are some kind of golden ticket to redemption. Like, look at me. I let Deacon go so he can be with Taylor. I am a changed woman. I am a saint now. It's so delusional. It is so classic Sheila Carter. She genuinely believes that because she did one decent, legally binding thing, all her past sins are just magically erased. All the shootings, the kidnappings, the years of psychological terror, just erased in her mind, so she corners Finn, in his sanctuary. The hospital is supposed to be his safe place, the place where he is in absolute control, where he saves lives and does good in the world. And suddenly she is there, invading his space, bringing all her toxic chaos and darkness right into his office. And she starts begging, frantically, wildly begging him. She wants to see Hayes. She wants access to her grandson. She is pleading with Finn to help her to bypass Steffy's strict, ironclad ban on her seeing the kids. And let's be real here for a second. Steffy Forrester Finnegan has every right to ban Sheila. Every single right in the universe? Sheila literally shot Steffy and Finn in a filthy, dirty alley and left them to bleed out in the garbage. Steffy's trauma is so deep and so real, and she has been warning everyone, especially Taylor, that Sheila is still a massive, lethal threat, and Finn knows this. Finn promised Steffy. He looked his traumatized wife in the eye and promised her he would never, ever cross her when it came to his biological mother. He promised he would protect their family at all costs. But Sheila doesn't care about boundaries. She never has and she never will. The tension in that office was absolutely suffocating. You could feel the walls closing in on Finn. He's backing away. He's shaking his head. He's telling her no. He's telling her she can't be there, that she needs to leave immediately before security is called. But Sheila is relentless. She's ramping up. Her voice is getting that desperate, unhinged, frantic edge to it that Kimberlin Brown does so perfectly. She is an absolute masterclass in playing the psychotic, desperate mother who refuses to hear the word no, and then it happens. The moment that is going to change the bold and the beautiful forever. Sheila, in her twisted, delusional mind, thinks she can just force a connection. She thinks she can just break through Finn's emotional and physical defenses with sudden physical affection, so she lunges. She suddenly, violently lunges forward to throw her arms around her son, to hug him like a normal mother would, but she is not a normal mother, and this is not a normal situation. But Finn is startled. He is exhausted. He is stressed. He is completely on edge from this terrifying ambush. It was a pure reflex reaction, a flinch. A sudden, jerky, defensive movement to protect himself from the woman who has caused him so much physical and emotional pain in the past, but he was still holding the scalpel. That freshly sterilized, razor-sharp surgical scalpel, and he stabs her. He accidentally, reflexively plunges the blade right into her neck, directly into her aorta. Guys, the blood. I cannot even describe the shock of seeing that bright red blood suddenly blooming across Finn's pristine white doctor's coat. It was shocking. It was incredibly graphic for daytime television. The visual contrast of the bright red on the pure white, the symbol of his healing profession literally stained with the blood of his own mother, it was cinematic. It was horrifying. I was gasping for air watching it. Time just stopped. The way the director shot it, everything went completely silent. You could just see the absolute, mind-numbing horror washing over Finn's face. He froze. He completely froze like a statue. The bloody scalpel clattered to the hospital floor, the sound echoing in the quiet room. Sheila's eyes went wide, not with anger, but with this weird, twisted, terrifying surprise, and then she collapsed. Just crumbled to the floor in a growing pool of her own blood. Finn is a doctor. He took the Hippocratic oath. First, do no harm. His entire life, his entire identity, his soul is built around saving people. He pulls people back from the brink of death every single day. And in one split second, one horrible, tragic, unavoidable reflex, he became a killer. He took a life, and not just any life. The life of his biological mother, the woman who gave birth to him. The sheer, devastating irony of it all is almost too much to handle. I was literally screaming at my screen. What did you do? What did you just do? Because the ramifications of this are massive. They are catastrophic. Think about it. Think about the crime scene that is currently sitting in that hospital office. Finn is standing there, covered in blood, with a murder weapon on the floor at his feet. Sheila is bleeding out, and with an aorta strike, she has to be dead, right? I mean, maybe I'm being too naive because it's Sheila Carter and she has 9 lives, but it looked incredibly fatal. The scene looks exactly like a premeditated, brutal murder. Who is going to believe it was an accident? Who? The police are going to arrive, and they are going to look at this scene, and they are going to see a man who hated his biological mother. A man whose wife despised her with every fiber of her being. A man who had every motive in the world to want her gone permanently to protect his family. They are going to see a highly trained doctor who knew exactly where to strike the human body to ensure a quick, fatal bleed. It doesn't look like a reflex to a detective. It looks like an execution. A cold-blooded, calculated execution by a man who snapped. His medical career is over. It is completely, utterly destroyed in the blink of an eye. You don't come back from killing someone in your hospital office. The medical board will revoke his license before the police even put the handcuffs on him. Everything he worked for, all those grueling years of medical school, all the long nights, all the lives he saved, completely wiped out by one desperate lunge from Sheila Carter. His illustrious career is just gone. Poof, vaporized. And what about Steffy? Oh my God, Steffy. How is she going to react to this news? On one hand, her greatest nightmare, her biggest monster, the woman who has haunted her dreams for years, is finally gone. The threat to her children is neutralized. But on the other hand, her husband is the one who did it. Her sweet, gentle, healing, morally upright husband is now a killer. The psychological trauma of that is going to tear them apart. Steffy has been so paranoid, so protective, and now the extreme violence she feared has exploded right inside her own marriage. How do you look at your husband the same way when his hands are covered in his mother's blood? And honestly, what is Liam Spencer going to do with this information? You know Liam is going to have a field day. Liam has always thought Finn was too close to Sheila, that Finn was a liability. Now Finn has actually killed her. Liam is going to use this to swoop right back into Steffy's life, claiming Finn is unstable and dangerous. I can already see the smug look on Liam's face as he tells Steffy he warned her about the Finnegan family drama. It is going to be insufferable, but it is going to be great soap drama. I honestly don't know where the writers are going with this. It feels like they just backed a dump truck full of gasoline onto a raging fire. The fans on social media are already losing their minds. My timeline is a mess. Half the people are cheering that Sheila is finally actually gone, and the other half are crying for Finn because his entire life is ruined over a stupid accident. It is a brilliant, messy, chaotic storyline, and I am absolutely here for it. But man, I am exhausted just thinking about the fallout. Is this going to be a cover-up storyline? Is Finn going to panic and try to hide the body? No, he can't. He's in a busy hospital. There are security cameras everywhere. Nurses are going to walk in at any second. He has to call it in. He has to confess to what happened, but the guilt, the crushing, suffocating guilt is going to eat him alive. He is going to be haunted by that moment forever, that split-second reflex. He is going to replay that lunge, that stab, the look in her eyes, over and over again in his head until he loses his mind. And maybe I'm being too harsh on the writers. Sometimes they pull these massive stunts and then hit the reset button somehow, but this feels permanent. You can't unstab an aorta. You can't unstain that white doctor's coat. This is a line that has been violently crossed. Finn's innocence is gone. The show's entire dynamic is forever altered. We are entering a completely new era of the bold and the beautiful. I just keep thinking about Taylor and Deacon too. Deacon is going to be devastated. He actually believes Sheila was changing. He just got the signed divorce papers. He thought she was moving on. He actually loved her in his own weird, messed up, twisted way. And Taylor was just starting to feel safe again. Taylor is going to have to pick up the pieces of Steffy's shattered life once again, while dealing with the shock that her son-in-law is a killer, and Hayes. Little Hayes will grow up knowing his father killed his grandmother. The generational trauma in this family is just off the charts. It's Shakespearean at this point. It's a Greek tragedy wrapped in designer clothes. So yeah, that's where we are today. A dead mother, a ruined, traumatized doctor, a crime scene that looks like a horror movie set. I need a nap. I really need a long nap after watching this episode. But you know I'll be right back here tomorrow to see the immediate fallout. Because there is absolutely no way they can gloss over this. The explosion is just beginning, and the shockwaves are going to hit every single character on this canvas. Let me know what you guys think in the comments, because I am honestly still processing this absolute madness, and I need to know I'm not the only one freaking out.